Hello and welcome to Shy Talk, an Irish history podcast. This week, everyone's on holidays. It's the classic St. Bridget's Day holiday it's the first year. We didn't know what to do, so we haven't got a new episode. We were too busy being feminists and celebrating St. Bridget. We're working on a Brendan Behan episode for next week. But in the meantime, here's an episode from our Patreon from last year about the Irish giant Charles Byrne, who was in the news recently in connection to the British Museum. But that's it. We'll be back with a new episode next week. Happy Imbolc, and good luck.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish heritage to find. Joseph from Carlow and Catherine from Dawn. Guide you through the ways of Shine's.
Born in 1761, Charles Byrne grew up in a place called Littlebridge in Derry, or Londonderry, near Tyrone, near Lough Neagh. Now I did have to Google, map the whole thing and realize both of those things can be true. I was like, they're ages away from each other.
It's a pretty big lake.
Yeah, but then also I didn't realize that Derry and Tyrone were that close.
They
touch.
You don't know where Derry is.
I don't know the north.
We drove through Tyrone to get to... Well, we drove through Derry to get to Tyrone that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Now
You don't know when I started researching this story.
That's fair.
It was last week.
Yeah, because we were there a couple months ago.
A few months after we had already done the thing, but I was like, I still have to go and check.
Yeah.
I'm not a smart man. He had an Irish dad,
Oh, yeah?
Scottish ma.
Oh.
And now it gets interesting.
There you go.
Not much is known about his family, apart from the fact that they were regular-sized humans. I'm not giving anything away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How big was that beer I bought you there?
It was pretty big.
Yeah, it was partly to celebrate a big birthday for you.
Yeah.
31.
Oh, yeah.
Partly to celebrate
Yeah.
a story about a giant.
Oh.
Unlike Charles.
I'm trying to remember. What was that? Who was that? And do you remember the Nevermind the Buzzcocks gag where they had someone on and they kept passing him, like Simon Amsterdam would pass him like a normal size pencil, and then it would cut to his screen later on. He'd been handed a giant novelty pencil, but they're obviously cutting them. They're filming them at different times, and so you can see at some point where he cops on what they're going to edit it down to later on. Well, who was that?
Oh, it's not Jack D. He was always small. It's not Dappy. How many times have we mentioned Dappy in 1 month?
Twice, which is more than anyone's mentioned Daffy in the last 5 years.
Apart from his 350,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, classic guy. I thought that's where you go. Yeah, just hand me record me holding a giant pint.
No, I went and got a giant pint. A giant bottle of pints.
Yes.
For one, your birthday.
Yeah.
For two, because that was going to be funny that this happened.
Yeah.
Drink a big giant bottle when we talk about giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike Charles.
Which, if anything, makes me feel smaller. You should have got me a tiny bottle.
And then you'd feel like a giant.
Yeah.
No.
This
the
is
other way.
Yeah.
What did you for perspective?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because unlike Charles,
Right.
who was a giant,
Okay.
right? Literally, he was a pituitary
Pituitary gland.
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had one of those dysfunctions, or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Some say the reason for his great height was because he was born on top of a haystack. Others say that this claim is stupid.
That. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. He was born on top of a haystack. He's got an advantage. He's already pretty high.
Growing up in rural Ireland as a giant.
Yeah.
That's tough.
There's growing up and then there's growing way up.
Oh. Lads didn't want to sit beside him in school.
Well, that's a phrase that like country lads would say about a tall man. He was like, "Jeez, you'd eat hay off a loft." Maybe that's what they meant. He was born on a haystack.
But yeah, I was saying lads didn't want to sit beside him in school. Always, quote, drivelling and spitting. So they said he was, and also in horrible pain.
Yeah, I
growing
guess so.
pains.
Growing pains, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone just being like, well, what's the weather like today? Hi. That's another classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you have any giants in your school growing up?
No, not really.
Like anyone who was like 6'9"?
Yeah. Like my brother's pretty tall. He would have got all the. Like,
He's not.
No, but like for
You are, Philip, sometimes you listen.
yeah.
You are much taller than I am, but I'm talking like proper giants.
But
like,
he's been that not proper giants, but he's been that height since like he was a teenager. So he's just got all the classics, like people constantly ask him when he's going to try out for basketball, completely unaware of his terrible hand-eye coordination skills. People ask him, yeah, what's the weather like up there?
yeah.
Lads love saying, I've said it myself a few times. Sometimes you meet a man who's so tall and you're like, Jesus, I don't know if anyone's ever said this to you. But you are quite a tall man.
Like my buddy Chris, shout out the goose, is about 6'7", 6'8".
Really?
And yeah, he just gets it. Now maybe let's say 6'7".
Yeah. Which is the first thing you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized then because I don't think he's a full foot taller than me.
Yeah.
I'd say he's 11 inches taller
11
than
inches. But, you know,
me. Yeah. Is that how many inches are in a foot?
listen, don't worry about
No,
it.
it's at this stage.
Whatever you fucking tell your girlfriend, that's your business. Yeah. Tell me about this giant.
Well, there's two accounts of him.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Did no one else ever see him? It sounds like it'd be hard to miss.
in general, from his time in Ireland, there seems to be two accounts of him.
What's this way? Actually, sorry. So lads wouldn't sit beside him. I thought they wouldn't sit beside him because of like an inferiority complex. They wouldn't sit beside him
No,
because
yeah,
he
that's-
was spitting and slobbering.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then
Ah,
they
yeah.
play it off because he's spitting and slobbering and always crying out about, oh, I'm in pain.
Like I'd hear my bones growing.
Yeah.
Hey man, fucking! I asked for the news, not the weather.
I do remember my friend Dara growing an inch in the middle of class.
That seems. Oh yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, but I remember...
Does his fucking penis get hard?
No, I remember him coming out of class
No.
and I was looking at him going like, well, I'm pretty aware of how much shorter I am than you.
Yeah.
I was like, I think you're after... He was like, do you think I'm after growing? Because I think I'm after growing.
I don't know if that's true. If he grew an inch, I'm pretty sure there'd be
Do
a
you not
medical
know-
issue.
Do you not... Well, hold on. Do you not think it's true?
I know
Or do you
it's
not
not
think
true.
that I don't think it's true?
I know it's not true.
Yeah, but that's not the question.
I don't understand
Do
the
you think
question.
that? Do you think that I think it's true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
That's all. Okay. Yeah.
That's all
'Cause
I've ever asked for.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I'm back working with teenagers.
You'd be surprised by
again.
how many people have played pranks on me.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's a prank. You're like, I think people are conscious about their height at that age, and teenagers slump a lot. Like when people stand up straight, like they do, you get like a good inch or two. I think at that age, before you cop on that you're now a beast, and people get like self-conscious about it all they are, and they can. It's like Clark Kent. Like it's amazing how much shorter you can make yourself look just by like hunching over. I think people try and hide how tall they've gotten until they realize they should be doing the opposite.
No, I think people just don't know posture. Because short people also have bad posture.
Yeah, I know, but I've noticed that. Yeah, when people are like self-conscious, they kind of like.
Oh,
shrink up a
they
bit.
do that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the same as when people have braces, they don't smile. It's
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
But
then when you
also-
straighten up. Yeah.
But also, like, it's
It's just bad
in
posture.
your version of the world, like 90% of people have very good posture, and it's only the people who are tall who go, "Oh, I'm going to slouch." You
It's
have
a-
terrible posture.
We all have terrible
Yeah.
posture.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
You have terrible posture.
I'm trying to work on my posture lately, and it does. Yeah, you can grow an inch if you just like walk properly.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's not easy?
It ain't easy being tall.
Sitting beside a tall lad
Yeah.
in school. But I was saying there's two different accounts of him from his time in Ireland.
Yeah.
Sometimes slouched and slovenly and unhealthy looking,
There you go.
and others says he's grand. He's a lovely lad, big giant hulk of a man,
Yeah.
good crack.
Good,
People
yeah.
love him. Do you know, so who knows where the story lies? Not this podcast.
No.
As in the case with giants, they tend to keep growing, or pituitary giants, I guess. Anyway, yeah. So it's hard to get an accurate read of him. Although the skeleton remains of him said 7'7", although some reports had him as high as 8'2" or 8'4".
Yeah. Well, the skeleton's kind of hard to lie. I'm assuming, like most giants, he didn't live a long life, so that he starts coming down again.
Yeah, but yeah, that's probably true. But then
they're
you
not
never,
hitting the skeleton, being like, "Fuck, straighten up your spine there."
we'll get into it.
Okay.
Because I do agree with you. 7'7" sounds about right.
Yeah.
But there might be like an inch or two, to be fair.
If he was in platforms.
He had a great platform. He was the most famous giant in the world.
Yeah. Or like Bart Simpson trying to get an extra inch for a good hair gel and a platform shoes.
7'7". I need to be seen as taller. Give me a striped suit. Give me some gel to spike up my hair.
Yeah.
Platform shoes.
And a tiny dog.
Oh, so here's one for you.
Mm-hmm.
He was a member of the Tyrone Volunteers.
Oh.
Front and centre at marches or lining up for battle. Like a scene from Troy.
What year did you say this was? The 1700s?
Yeah, 1761. So by now it's probably like 1780 or so.
Yeah, okay.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
The man 7'7" leading in everyone else. You're like, do you know what? No.
Let him go on ahead.
No, I would just be, if I was in the opposition, I'd run the other way.
Yeah, well this is...
Do they have more of those?
Yeah. Well, you're getting into the time of, the Orange Order and all those boys we talked about before.
Yeah, eating too many oranges, that's his problem.
Eating too many fucking... Put the fruit down, you know?
Get some scurvy, bend those bones, come
Yeah.
into a solid 7'4".
Yeah. This is the time when they would have been ripe for, like... Yeah. People trying to copy what he did to emulate. People asking his mother which way she turned down the stairs on the last day of it she was pregnant and trying to replicate it to breed a race of super unionists.
It's what happens when you ride your husband's brother.
Yeah. I'm assuming if he's in the Tyrone Volunteers, he's an orange boy.
It's I assume.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Because that's not what this story's about.
No.
It's about a very tall man.
It's about a very tall man who rose above sectarianism.
Yeah. Tall as the tales of Protestant ascendancy.
Mm-hmm.
By the time he hits his later teenage years, he's known throughout the county and probably a few other counties as well. The Tri-County area.
Yeah.
But not the tricolour.
No.
And tales of him spread around the area. Right, the area being the country, isn't? Word gets to Joe Vance.
Okay.
From a place called Cough.
Okay.
Which I've googled, doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Yeah.
It cleared up after a while, did it?
Ho-ho.
This is a comedy podcast.
The closest I got was Tipperary.
Closest I got was a tickle in the back of the throat.
I will leave this room right now.
It's okay.
Joe Vance is in the entertainment business, and he reckons if they parade Charles around like a freak, by God, that might just be a show worth seeing. They set off on a tour of Ireland, a smash hit.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call 1781. Yeah.
That's a real 1781. When was like P.T. Barnum and all those boys around? It's a bit after that.
Yeah.
I suppose in those days.
In those days, people were even shorter.
I went to see Michael Flatley's film today. I spent €17 and 2 tickets to see a film that I knew I wouldn't like, but I would enjoy ironically. Who am I to like...
Do you not think by enjoying something ironically, you still don't like it?
Yeah, I know, but like here I am casting aspersions on people
like new
queuing
metal.
up to see a tall man.
Yeah, but I like new metal.
Yeah.
Non-ironically.
What are you
That's
talking
nothing to do with it.
There's nothing to do with it at all.
Just let people know I fucking love Limp Bizkit.
I know you love Limp Bizkit, but I'm saying I can't look down on these people that are queuing up to see a tall man. There's not much else happening.
You can't look down on most people.
No, I'd be looking up at this tall man being like, hey,
you'd be looking up at
it was
short
worth the
men.
money. It was worth the tuppence.
Yeah. No, I suppose, yeah.
It's worth me taking the day off work, which I will get whipped for.
There is very little else going on. You could either go to work in the mines for 18 hours a day or go see a Spider Baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But so this smash hit tour, it's so good. It's all around Ireland. People are loving it. Jesus, he's massive.
He's a big
right?
man.
Jesus, he can play midfield for county.
Yeah.
Right? It's so good. Charles sets off in search of fame and fortune bigger than the lands of Ireland. He's
leaving Vance.
Right to the motherlode. No, Vance is bringing him, I think.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure. I couldn't find out because I check after. Pretty sure he's bringing him.
Yeah.
So he sets off, fame and fortune. First off, lands in Scotland. You know, where the Edinburgh night watchmen were shocked at his ability to light his pipe merely by raising his hand up to the street lamps.
Yeah.
Not even on his tippy toes.
Not even on his tippy toes.
They said that, not
They
me.
were shocked by his use of fire.
No, it's-
The Edinburgh folk were running scared.
but
Sorry,
yeah,
babe.
that's cool though.
Yeah, that is
7-7,
cool.
an arm and a half of them, and
That's
they're
pretty
saying
handy.
not the tippy toes. I'd be saying street lamps used to be a lot shorter back then.
Yeah, because I mean the guy still needed the length.
Yeah, I suppose most people, if the average height now in Ireland is what, like 5'3", back then it must have been.
You keep dreaming.
Yeah, I know you're right. It's like 5'1". So back
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it probably must have been like what, like 4 foot.
4 flat, I'd say.
Yeah, even.
Even.
Yeah. Legend of the Giant spread, and Charles was passing down through England, north to south. That
Yeah.
was the style at the time. Scaring the bejesus out of everyone along the way, before finally reaching London,
Nice.
where he'd become an even bigger star.
Is he growing again?
Yeah, probably his maturity problems.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to pronounce that word.
What?
I always think there's an extra like 3 T's in it. Like
Oh,
pituitary.
pituitary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it pituitary? Pituitary?
Pituitary. Yeah.
You don't know either.
I don't know. No, I think it's pituitary.
Yeah. Audiences would pay in to see him stand there,
Yes.
being a big old giant.
I mean,
Or as he was affectionately known at the time, a freak show.
yeah.
Sorry, no, what's the other word for affectionately?
Derogatory.
That's the
yeah.
one. Right, so anyway, he's in London.
Yeah.
He's a star. So now as the freak show, right,
Mhm.
traveling around, everyone wants a piece of him.
Yeah.
He's on top of the world, 21 years of age.
Yeah. Okay.
He's one of the biggest attractions in London.
I'll
that's,
say it.
That's not a pun.
Yep.
They call him, what do you think?
Well, he's from Tyrone, so I'm going to assume they call him Big Man. All right, big man.
Oh, big mom.
All right, big lad.
The Irish giant.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's loved by the public.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big, affable,
Yeah.
friendly giant.
Yeah.
So people want to know what he's up to.
Did a young Roald Dahl see him on tour and think, oh, I've got an idea here?
I don't know
What if
why.
a fat kid ate a lot of cake?
He's loved by the public. He's a big, affable, friendly giant. So people want to know what he's up to, and the tabloids are willing to deliver.
Yes.
Accounts of his goings-on are going on. They were splashed across the newspapers. Fucking red tops, Kevin.
Yeah.
Right. One newspaper said this: "The wonderful Irish giant is the most extraordinary curiosity ever known or ever heard of in history, and the curious
It's a big swing.
and the curious in all countries where he has been shown,
Yeah.
shun, but pronounce
written
him
by a
to be the
Scottish man.
finest display of human nature that they ever saw."
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. I'd take that.
he's big.
He's
Yeah,
big.
he's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another paper said, "However striking a curiosity may be, there is generally some difficulty in engaging the attention of the public. But even this was not the case with the modern living colossus or wonderful Irish giant. For no sooner was he arrived at an elegant apartment at the cane shop in Spring Garden Gate next to Cox's Museum than the curious of all degrees reported to see him. Being the sensible that a prodigy like this never made its appearance among us before." They can't write
you
English.
can't read.
No, I'm struggling through this because they
Yes.
can't write English back then.
I
We've
don't
fig-
think
we-
that's true.
We fixed it.
Yeah.
This is like Shakespearean time where they're trying to
No, it's
not.
not.
It is.
Just, what does it say on the thing?
It's 1761.
This
Or
now-
this is probably no, this is probably
it's
like
17.
this is probably 1780 something.
Yeah.
So they can't speak English.
No.
No. So there's no like, but it's also like not play written English where they're trying to be fancy with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they're
They're
like,
just using words like
something's
should.
rotten in the state of Denmark. They're like, rotten is me shoe. I
They've
hate the
only
Danish.
They've only just spoke like that. But, so wait, was that article saying, yeah, you know, no matter how wonderful something is, at the end of the day, it is just some guy standing there. But that isn't the case with this guy because,
No, yeah,
wow.
exactly. Because it's
Does
like,
he stand there?
well,
The modern colossus.
I guess it's like that equivalent of back in the. I'll finish off the quote.
Just try and start the quote again there.
Okay, I'll read it properly,
yeah.
and then I'll tell you. Trust me,
yeah.
right? If I get it wrong.
Okay.
However striking a curiosity may be, there is generally some difficulty in engaging the attention of the public. But even this was not the case with the modern living colossus, or wonderful Irish giant, for no sooner was he arrived at an elegant apartment at the cane shop in Spring Garden Gate, next door to Cox's Museum, stop laughing at Cox's Museum, than the curious of all degrees reported to see him, being the sensible that a prodigy like this never made its appearance amongst us before, and the most penetrating have frankly declared that neither the tongue of the most florid orator or pen of the most ingenious writer can sufficiently describe the elegance, symmetry, and proportion of this wonderful phenomenon in nature, and that all descriptions must fall infinitely short of giving that satisfaction which may be obtained on a judicious inspection.
There you go. That's good. So he's symmetrical as well. That's where the real
just
money
as tall
is.
on both sides. Whereas
Yeah.
most people are about half an inch shorter on one leg.
Is that? But
That's not true.
no, but your arm span is meant to be your height, isn't it?
It's meant to be, but it
Vitruvian
often
man.
isn't.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I have not.
It's one of those things.
measured shockingly few people.
But this guy's very symmetrical all over. I don't know if they checked his wingspan.
I'm sure they did. I mean, what else? Realistically, if the whole show you've paid in for an hour, you're checking his wingspan.
Unless he had like T-Rex arms, and it's like one of those.
Oh.
It's like the Twilight Zone, but it's
Yeah.
not the Twilight Zone. I think I've talked about this before. Of like the Rick and Morty do an episode about it. It's like the shot, and Podge and Rog also do an episode about it.
Yeah. Yeah, the shop that gives you stuff, but then it's a curse.
It's the opposite of what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're like, I want to be the tallest man in the world. Or like, you're
Yeah.
going to be 7'7". How long are my arms? 2 foot.
No.
Oh.
Oh, you're the tallest. Yeah, you're the tallest man, but your penis doesn't grow in proportion.
Yeah, like Shaq.
Like Shaq.
Yeah.
Well, you'd want to think so because I've seen pictures of Shaq. This is like a real early internet kind of humor, where you'd be a picture of Shaq walking around with his girlfriend. I would hope to God things aren't in proportion.
Yeah. It's one of those weird early internet ones, kind of like your man from American Gigolo. Not the new version, the old one. Officer and a Gentleman. Richard Gere.
Yeah.
That like he used to shove gerbils up his asshole.
Yeah.
It was just something people started saying early enough online.
Yeah.
And it just went everywhere, so now it's true. But that one is.
But that was definitely fact.
But yeah, people used to say that Shaq had like a tiny penis, and I think it's just, he probably still had a very big dick.
Yeah.
It's just that in proportion to his body, he's probably just dealing with like, he's 7 foot tall, so if he has anything shorter than like, even if he had like an 8-inch penis, it's going to look tiny.
It's pretty funny to imagine Shaq just being like, but the ratio, the proportional. Yeah, I mean, he's better off.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Proportionate. That's what the women want. Proportion.
Symmetry.
Yeah. Speaking of symmetry,
Yeah.
he had it all. He's the talk of the town, our Charles Byrne. Everyone wants to see him before he heads off to Europe, because that has to be the next stepping stone.
Of course.
Or leaping stone. He doesn't need steps. This man could swim across the river.
Yeah.
Like the Barrow, not like the
Like
ocean.
he could swim across a river.
Yeah. Which is a feat for the day.
His big feet.
They brought him to see the king at the time. A Charles of numbers I won't give away to you now. But in the middle of 1782, a play is based upon Charles.
Yeah.
Byrne, not the king.
No.
Called Harlequin Teague. Which I wasn't sure.
Tig.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's hard to know. But then it translates to Giants. I say translates. That's an English title. But Giants Causeway.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's only 21 at this point, but God, he's a star. He's not in the play, which he
Yeah.
should have been.
He was literally born to play the role.
He was too busy being like broken as a man, sitting down in a chair. People
Yeah.
come. Remember earlier on in that quote when I was like, the apartment at the cane shop in Spring Garden Gate next to the Cox's Museum.
I remember
This
that.
is not like a bring him into. He's in a theater like King
Bring him
Kong.
into-
Like
yeah.
pull back the curtains. He's in chains. God, he's a massive beast. It's like,
Yeah.
no, he's
Just
sitting in
in
a
a
chair,
yeah.
relatively crippled. where he's like, yeah, I can't stop fucking growing.
Oh my god.
Every week they bring me a new chair that's slightly bigger than the
Yeah.
last. It's like the opposite of a Russian doll situation.
He just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
And who did they cast to play? I suppose they just have stilts.
Just a tall man. Whoever played Jaws in Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
who also had a pituitary problem.
He did.
Yeah. Also a link to an Irishman.
Oh yeah.
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 But-
no, Heaney?
Samuel Beckett used to
Beckett.
drive him to
Yeah,
school in
yeah.
France.
That was it.
Yeah. Which sounds like the most. That doesn't sound like, for what we've said on this podcast, that sounds like
sounds
something
like
we're
the
trying to
most of a
con
lie.
people with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that one's actually true.
As opposed to the rest of this story.
Yeah. But the reason he's a giant is he's got acromeg. I wish Lisa was around here now.
Yeah.
It's acromegaly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say that. Same as Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
who has a link to an.
What are the odds that he
Yeah.
grew up to be a giant when his name was Andre the
Andre
Giant?
the Giant.
Andre de Giant.
As is often the case, though, the bigger they are,
The
The
harder
su-
they fall.
the sooner they fall.
Okay.
Yeah. By the end of his 22nd year, his health had already taken a turn for the worse. Have you ever
Yeah.
actually tried to bring that up around people who are very tall?
Um.
Because I have. In rebuttal to them saying, like, oh, do you need a hand reaching the top shelf?
Yeah,
And I told
good
my
luck with your fucking heart pumping the blood around your freakish body. You
bitch.
you bitch. You're a freak of nature.
I'm pretty sure I've said that.
Yeah,
to,
God
like,
only made you so tall so he could slap the head of you.
I'm pretty sure I said that to my buddy Chris before. And he was like, oh, do you need a hand reaching the top shelf? I was like, yeah, when I'm 60 and I need like a footstool to get up there when you're dead.
Yes. Yeah, enjoy joint pain in your 30s. Yeah, but I don't think it's the same as back. Yeah, like the tallest people in the world don't live very long.
It's still the same now, yeah.
But like tall people,
Not for if
even
you're like
into
6'4", but
No.
if you're like 6'10",
yeah,
yeah, you're
it's your circulation's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and your joints hurt and you can't, and then you're not getting the exercise,
Yeah.
and then you're also drinking a lot, probably, I imagine, because you're like, this is class.
You can reach the top shelf whiskey easier. So you're drinking the good stuff.
Think
They don't even know about the cheap stuff at the bottom.
I was thinking, like, how cool must it be? Like, say, how fun is it to be like whiskey drunk as you're stumbling around the city,
Yeah.
and you're just like, everyone's fucking great. Imagine you're a whole foot taller than everyone,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, you're a giant.
Have you ever been somewhere where like the people are smaller?
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, no.
No.
Like Asia maybe, but
No.
even then it's
you
like,
won't trap me.
yeah, but even then it's like
Genuinely,
not much. Like a little bit smaller than me on
yeah.
average.
Genuinely, I find the people in Northern Ireland are by and large shorter. And I've read stuff before about like people that are born during times of crisis. When a generation of mothers are under stress, babies have stunted growth. Like I have no I can probably look this up. There probably is evidence for it. I've just noticed whenever I go to gigs in Belfast,
You're able to see
over
the
people.
stage?
I
Yeah.
can. It took me a while to cop on what was different, but it's like it's just something I can see stuff. I'm not. There isn't just like, because here there's always a couple of fucking lads that are 6 foot tall up there. They were sniper targets.
I think they still have them as well. It's just that it's the same for like the average height in. It shows a lot about how much we know about heights.
Yeah.
But like in LA or New York, people who are born and raised there
Yeah.
are often shorter,
Yeah.
because most of the people who are living there won't. Obviously, it's everyone's dream to be like, oh, I'm going to make it over there. It's going to be great. But a lot of the time, you're like, yeah, rough conditions, don't have access to great food, living cheap
Yeah.
in a
yeah,
city
yeah.
full of smog and smoke and shite, versus like country living where you're just like fed cheese and eggs and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever cows eat. Like us, two
Well-
boys born in the country, giants of men.
What did you ever tell of a man in Northern Ireland? 5'10" in the south, 5'7".
Yeah.
So
So you're completely wrong.
incorrect. Not
But-
only am I wrong, it's the opposite.
You complete the opposite. What I would say is,
Well, I'm trying to remember.
You're right about Belfast, but just not
Yes.
the rest of Northern
There
Ireland.
you go.
That like it feeds into my point, so we
It's
can
the
both be
country
wrong
people.
together. Yeah.
Belfast, famously an industrial city, lots of smog. The Titanic, that didn't help.
That
you
didn't
know,
help.
that fucking Brexit. Anyway,
Yeah.
won't say much more about that. I'm trying to remember who told me a story of that. Like, it was my friend Andrew. That his mother's quite short, and whenever they used to go to gigs as a family, she'd always be stuck behind someone. And he said himself and his dad went to a gig one time when they were like, he was a bit older, and just saw like some 6'6" guy walking around carrying pints, and he was like, Jesus, that man looks lost. Like, he's the guy who usually stands in front of your mother. Doesn't know what to do because she's not here.
Like if you're over 6 foot tall, get out, stand to the side.
Yeah.
That, or even just have the courtesy to look around the back of you and be like, am I ruining this for everyone?
Yeah.
Like,
But
just
that's what I mean about, I was saying earlier about tall people kind of hunch themselves. A lot of tall people are conscious about being tall.
some people are self-conscious. Maybe they get a little bit older and they don't, like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
as I'd been saying earlier on, his health took a turn around by the end of his 22nd.
This is a great pairing of statements there. Be like, hey, tall people, fucking check yourselves
Yeah.
when you're in public, okay? Anyway, this tall man died from being too tall. Check your privilege when you're at the cinema or just walking in front of me.
Yeah, but they're not all going to be 7'7" to 8'4".
No.
I'm talking about people who are like 6'3",
Yeah.
who are just like, do you need to stand at the very center?
Yeah.
Do you need like right in the middle of me?
Mm,
It's a very personal problem.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only like 4 inches taller than Kevin, so it doesn't help me.
I feel sorry for him when we're in public.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't want to fight this man.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to send someone to hospital.
Yeah. I don't want to kill a man. Don't want that man conscious again.
But yeah, so his health is taking a bad turn.
I pull pints. I don't pull punches. That's my bumper sticker I got tattooed on my arse.
You pull pints, you don't pull women.
I pull pints and women, never punches.
There's a t-shirt coming.
Yeah,
from that.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a fucking. You can buy that in our t-shirt store as soon as we
Finally pull the
figure out what
finger
that
out.
is.
We will do new t-shirts that aren't just the classic ones, but we also have to bring back more of the classic ones because
Oh,
I
yeah.
sold the final one off my own back on stage the
Yeah,
other day
that's true.
and regretted it the next day.
Of course, yeah. Some guy bought it off you for 25 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah. There
I
you
was
go.
like, give Kevin any? No.
Nope.
'Cause he has his own t-shirts.
I didn't see penny one of that.
No.
No.
Because it was yours.
No. Yeah.
You
It
should
was
have
on my birthday as well.
You should have had more sense. Once people had seen him, you know, there's very few repeat customers. Probably a few. Do you know, I will go see Blackbird again.
Yeah.
It's worth it. But for a giant, many people are kind of like, yeah. Well, he's hardly getting any bigger, is he? Well, he is.
Jesus.
But I think enough for them to really notice the difference.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
when-
if he is,
yeah.
it's more sad because he's just getting bigger and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
hunched. But some weren't impressed at all.
Yeah.
Tall men walk considerably beneath his arm, but he stoops, is not well shaped, his flesh is loose, and his appearance far from wholesome. His voice sounds like thunder, and he is an ill-bred beast, though very young, only in his 22nd year.
Yeah.
This all drives him to the drink, / his body being in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
That's one person who said that. I don't know where it's from.
No.
Which also harkens back to people kept saying, yeah, he's two things. He's either in great form and he's grand, or else he's like kind of a dick and he's like hunched over and not well looking. Is he drinking?
Yeah.
Is he just...
Is he just trying to numb the pain of these massive growth spurts?
But yeah, when you meet him when he's like a couple of pints in, it's
Yeah.
grand and he's upright and it's all fine. 8 to 28 pints in and he's like, oh, now he's a bit slouched over.
Yeah, yeah.
Which also I do think he probably would have been drinking probably. Like, I've seen big men, big mom.
Yeah.
I know a lad who drinks like 16 to 20 pints a night.
And I meet him every morning in the Mirror.
No.
He's in the front page of the Daily Mirror for some of his antics. But yeah, I mean, but it's also the same thing with celebrities, I guess, where they're like, people will have bad run-ins with them because they're constantly, I'm sure as a tall man, he's constantly just being asked stupid questions when he's just out trying to have a nice time.
But it's also on him to deal with that.
It's also on him. He shouldn't have been so tall. He shouldn't have been eating them haystacks.
When it's something for like that you can't control, that you're like, yeah, I've been born. I don't want to call it like an affliction.
Yeah.
When you're 7'7", it is that you're massive and it's way too. It's a problem.
Yeah.
You're gonna die young. You're gonna have a lot of like bodily problems. It's gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
The only way for you to have an okay life
Yeah.
is just to be a freak show where they pay you good money to do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like celebrities.
Yeah.
Who are like, oh, you wanted to be what? Oh, you wanted to be a musician or a comedian or an actor or do anything that you're really passionate about? Oh, did you get this level of success? Now I, as like a single member of the public, can walk up to you at any point
Yeah.
and just scream anything at you. And if you don't react with a smile,
Yeah.
you're a cunt.
You're a cunt. It's your fault. But even being tall there's probably nothing else like it in that, like, you know, tall by and large, which is what they call them, is good. You know, like people like tall people. They're seen as like a positive, you know, handsome trait or whatever. So, because being a celebrity, there's always going to be people who don't know you're a celebrity. But if you're tall and in a room, people can see you're fucking tall.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
if you're a celebrity,
to everybody.
if you're a celebrity, people who don't even know who you are, someone will be like, he's a celebrity.
Yeah, but literally
then
everyone who
everyone-
sees a tall person can be like, "What? You're fucking tall,"
That's
and it's
true.
okay. Like if someone's, you know, if someone's like very short or very fat, people will be like, "It's not. I'm not going to comment on that." Everyone feels
People
okay. to
talk
be like,
about you
"Jesus,
all the
you're
time."
fucking tall. People are always saying how tall I am. But yeah, it's probably there's probably nothing else like that, or maybe like someone who's very handsome, but it's very hard to feel sorry for them.
But remember all of that stuff I'd said earlier on about him being massive and people saying he's shite?
Yeah,
Well, he didn't like that. This all drives him to the drink even more.
yeah,
You know, and by God, could he put them away, which wasn't helping his health at all. Still in growing pains, and now he's after contracting TB.
oh,
A bad spiral altogether, and then things go from bad to worse.
yeah,
The Irish giant, a few evenings since taking a lunar ramble, was tempted to visit the Black Horse, a little public house facing the King's Mews, and before he turned to his apartments, found himself a less man than he had been the beginning of the evening, by the loss of upwards of £700 of banknotes,
damn.
which had been taken out of his pocket.
How? Just you gotta be like reaching above your head. Is it like someone with a step ladder trying to rob him? How?
I reckon he got drunk and fell asleep.
Would
and
you?
then-
Yeah. Do you reckon
and-
he woke up like Gulliver's Travels with just lads putting string across him and trying to pin him down? The Lilliputs.
I reckon they
Really
just
fucked.
waited until he got like locked.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if this pops up now again later in the script that I wrote last week or not. But I
Yeah.
do have it in my memory of basically he had £700 on him, maybe like 770 or something like that. But like he
The same amount as his height.
now he might have been left with a little bit,
Yeah.
but they stole like I guess a £500 note
Yeah.
or whatever it was. It was in £100, so they took like most of his money. And it was his entire world savings. He kept it around on him.
Why?
So- Because he didn't trust, I assume, people who were living with him.
Yeah. They have banks.
Maybe he just wanted to have it to be like big man walking around
Big
town.
man flashing cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he kept the money on him.
That's
Probably also thinking, who the fuck's going to try and steal something from a
That's fair.
7'7" man?
that is fair. Yeah.
So that doesn't go too well.
No.
But then by the summer of 1783, he's dead.
So don't worry about your money troubles, pal.
Yeah. Well, I think it exacerbated the problems because now he
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
afford like medical care or the drink to
Oh,
deal
yeah.
with it. So he's just kind of he's all slovenly walking around looking for
Yeah, yeah.
tuppences to buy pints.
He can't even bend down and pick money off the ground. It's too far away.
Too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he knew he wasn't long for the world. And he's only
He
at
is
the
long for the world. Yep.
he's the ripe old age at 22, and he had a plan
Oh.
for when it came to that time.
Yeah.
Crossing that bridge. Charles was worried that his body would be wanted by scientists for research and experiments,
Oh yeah.
so he'd asked for friends to sort out him being put in a big lead coffin, brought down to Margate, shipped out to the sea, where he'd be dropped overboard.
Interesting.
And I have a quote here that says, "Surgeons surrounded his house, just as Greenland harpooners would an enormous whale." So he
It's
wasn't
like a cartoon.
he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, so just they're showing up in their lab coats with saws, but like, yeah, sorry for your loss there, love. Did he have a will by any chance?
A newspaper reported, "So anxious are the surgeons to have possession of the Irish giant that they have offered a ransom of 800 guineas to the undertakers. This sum, if being rejected, they are determined to approach the churchyard by regular works and terrier-like unearth him."
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
it's
He's
the Burke and Hare
literally a
times.
big deal. Yeah,
Yeah, they're okay. Like, what did they ever hope to gain from this? Just like
£20,
dissect his body and be like, yeah, turns out he was tall.
massive.
Yeah, but like they're not going to figure out how to replicate him.
Yeah, but they don't know that at the time. It's
They
when
don't know that
they're
at
just
the
cutting
time.
up bodies in general to figure out
yeah.
what's up with stuff. They're like, is there a
Yeah.
coin inside of this man who makes everyone bigger? Is there
Yeah.
a mushroom here that could make me a slightly bigger version of me?
Yeah, and then if I take another one, fireballs perhaps.
But his friends had organized the sea burial. But John Hunter, a famous doctor surgeon,
Yeah,
who also was a bit of a collector of sorts.
his name was John Hunter.
Mm,
Okay,
yeah,
I wouldn't trust him
I know.
as a doctor.
Yeah, the heart is the loneliest hunter.
Yeah, well, most
John Hunter.
doctors have like medical degrees on their wall. You just got various human skulls.
But he'd organized for someone to steal the body. Now we're not really sure. He could have either stolen the body, or he could have paid his friends who were like, "Well, he's already dead now.
Yeah,
I don't know him that well. He moved here about a year ago from Ireland, which he's just over.
he's
so it's
just
like,
over.
I just paid my friends to bring me. It's like, they're not your
They
friends.
don't. Yeah. It's hard to make friends again because he's celebrity.
Mm.
Do they like him for him or for his money?
Well,
And
we'll
his
get
giant figure.
we'll get to some of his friends in a bit, but they're
Okay.
not around now.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
assume they're all dead.
They said 500 quid straight to the undertaker,
Yeah.
or else his friends. Basically, that's they know the number of what it cost, but
What-
not how much.
Wait, what? So wait, this is what Hunter's offering.
Yeah.
And what do you mean, not how much?
Well, as in, like, so people said, like, what it was? Did Hunter pay the undertaker?
Yeah.
Did he pay the man driving the boat? Did he pay
So
the
they
friends?
do know how much, just not who he paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
But somehow it was £500.
Okay.
Hmm.
And what's his deal? Just like he wants.
He's a collector.
He's a collector of like human anomalies.
and a doctor, so he's like, "What's up with the massive lad?"
What's up with that?
Yeah.
So he's just got like skeletons hanging on his wall. So he'd be like,
Well, so
here I've got the skeleton of Kevin Larney, and then we've got the skeleton of the man with the world's biggest penis. But I repeat myself.
well,
Well,
you'll find out that both those two skeletons, one and the same.
one and the same. Look closer. The penis, a flesh organ that would really have zero impact of my skeleton. I tried to pickle it, but I couldn't find a jar big enough.
But Hunter,
My pickles. What about Hunter?
so Hunter,
Yeah,
he gets the body,
yeah,
strips it of all the flesh. Initially, he was worried about it, so he hides it. He does all of that. He boils the entire body,
yeah.
strips all the flesh off, just pulls out all the bones, puts them away in storage for a good 4 or 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
Just because it's not legal to do this.
No, I would imagine not, because people are just going to forget.
Yeah, and then after a while,
Yeah.
he turns up and he's like, "Hey, look at this 7'7" skeleton I have,"
Okay.
and everyone's mad impressed by it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, the Hunterian Museum at the Royal College of Surgeons in London,
Now he's pushing it too far.
they
You can't go under the radar and also open a museum in your name with the body you just stole.
the Royal College of Surgeons
Yeah.
opens up
The Hunterian Museum.
yeah, because he's a collector.
I'm going to kind of just collect.
Remember?
People bequeathed me these things.
Yeah, he collects it.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Yeah, you have all these class things. Give us those. We'll put them up
Okay.
in the Royal College of Surgeons. Your name will go down forever."
Yeah.
All of that.
I'd be like, just
And then-
leave my name off it.
You would think, and also 5 years is not long enough to be like, it's definitely that guy.
Yeah.
That we would have heard about this otherwise, or else you have to tell us where it came from or what it was. He's just like, now we just have John Doe,
Yeah.
7-7. But that was displayed then in the Royal College of Surgeons for 2 centuries.
Jesus.
Yeah. Given
Okay.
the fact that
From when? Oh, so when did he die?
so like
Early 1800s.
1783 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they only relatively recently got rid of it.
For like over 200 centuries. Well,
Yeah.
so that's the thing.
Well, over
So then,
2 centuries.
yeah.
Or
What
they
is
just
it?
have a long
Did I say
lease.
3?
No, 200 centuries.
Oh,
you
sorry.
said. they've got big plans.
So for over 200 years.
Yeah.
But in 2011, some lawyers and doctors,
Yeah.
or doctors of law,
Uh-huh.
or lawyers of doctors, they get together and publish a thing publish a thing in what some people call the British Medical Journal,
Yes.
saying, which has been going around for a while,
The
seemingly.
BIMA.
Yeah, but they're saying it's been long enough now. Maybe instead of having him up here on display in front of everyone, we should
Yeah.
honor the man's only dying wish,
It was
And-
all he wanted.
just to not be displayed for the rest of humanity.
God damn.
And crazy,
Yeah.
right? Madness
Ah.
ensues. They do a vote on the
Yeah.
website,
On the website.
for the British Medical Journal.
Yeah.
It's called "Should the Skeleton of the Irish Giant Be Buried at Sea?"
Yeah.
55.6%, which I'm pretty sure you know
Yeah.
is a big number.
Well, it's not that big.
It's a majority.
It's a
Yeah.
majority, yes. Not a
Say
super
yes.
majority. That it should be buried at sea.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, he did write it down. It's the only thing he wants.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be here at all. He
Nope.
had, like, it's illegal for him. Any act that's brought him here has
Yeah.
been illegal.
Yeah.
55.6 say yes.
Yeah.
13.17 said take him down, but keep him
Just in case.
for research.
What research?
Big man,
Big man.
big mom.
He's just okay.
And then 31.55%
We were like, where can
Say-
I see this giant skeleton?
they said leave him up there.
Leave him up.
Just keep it going.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This forced the Royal College of Surgeons to do
A recount.
absolutely nothing. He's still up there now.
Is he?
Yeah. After
Oh
55.6% of people
God.
who they put it out on a poll to said
Yeah.
yes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They tried a change.org petition,
yeah,
which in fairness, 456 signatures.
that's
we-
not much.
We could, as a podcast,
Yeah.
do a change.org and get more people to sign up to that now than the Royal. They just didn't publicize it.
I guarantee that we couldn't. But
You don't think we get 456 giants to sign off?
no. We can't even get 456 people to pay us.
Yeah, but this is unpaid. This is free.
Oh, it's for free. Okay. I mean, yeah, that is sick. But also,
I don't want to ruin it for you, right?
Yeah.
Because I know you're thinking you're going to go off on one now.
No, not going off one. We're just saying if you want a skeleton back, yeah, fucking, hey, David, you join the queue behind Egypt. And half of the fucking previously colonized world that wants their shit back from the British Museum. Oh, boo, my skeleton's up there. What a fucking, all of our gold.
Well, I do want to say that, but as of now, because that was 2011 or 12,
Yeah.
as of now, there again, it was pre-pandemic times,
Yeah.
that the whatever exhibit that it was in
Hmm.
was being redone,
Yeah.
and it was like away for like 4 or 5 years. So they're officially thinking about it.
They're going with the guys who said, put them in a box.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're like, but also they haven't.
Put them in the sea.
Yeah, no, it was a good
You
few
could
years.
do a replica. No one gives a shit.
Basically,
Yeah.
what they did was what Hunter did in the first place, where they're like, let's just put it away for 4 years and roll it right back out again.
Yeah, yeah. Now, new improved tasting. Tallest
7-9.
man. Surely there's been, yeah, I don't know. That's a bit this is another Futurama reference now. 2 in 1 episode. Was Fry's dog that episode?
Walking on sunshine.
Yeah. But when there's like, he wants his dog to be released from the study, and they're like, I'm sorry, sir, there's just too much we can learn from this dog. It's like, he smelled like wet dog even when it was dry.
Yeah.
He liked licking the pizza. He loved chasing the 39 bus. He's like, 39 bus, eh? Well, that's all we can get from it. The dog is yours. It's like, what could you possibly learn from a skeleton after 250 years that you hadn't done before? Like, just fucking let it go.
Yeah, but the fact that like 13 point whatever % of people were like, no, we need more research.
But like, what research?
Bigger men have died since then.
I know.
Yeah. And we'll get on to it very soon.
Excellent. Hopefully we got more of those skeletons.
But I will say that there's a
Jason, you could say it sounds like the Royal College of Surgeons is a couple of skeletons in its closet.
It's a very big closet.
Yeah,
it's more of an armoire.
Yeah. It's a walk-in closet.
But there's a novel about Charles called The Giant O'Brien by Hilary Mantel, which is a fictionalized account of his life. You'd think his regular life would be interesting enough, but not at
we
all.
Squeezed an air out of it.
Yeah, he's the main character of Tessa Harris's The Dead Shall Not Rest, and Charles Dickens referred to him in David Copperfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's 4 families in Northern Ireland that have the same gene he does, of like giants.
Giant gene.
And
play
every
Patron.
single one of them, I think that there's like something like there's 4 alive today, but over the years there's been like 60 odd or something.
Yeah.
They can all trace they're all related to the Wad Man.
Yeah.
An ancestor like 14.
What did he have children?
Charles, no. Oh, this is a man
family.
before him. Yeah. So it was like he was around in the 14 to 1600 years ago.
Right, okay, yeah.
So like he's at about 60 odd generations, and that gene just keeps getting passed down the line. Because when there's a documentary you can find on YouTube, maybe it was Tina G or someone did it because it's in Irish.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it. But I did skip through all the parts that were in
far
English.
more.
But yeah, one of his relatives, a man who's related to the same man, goes in search of like the history of Charles Byrne. He's also a very tall man who looks ridiculous anytime he's in proportion to. Do you ever see What If, the Daniel Radcliffe film that's shot in Ireland, romantic comedy?
No.
There's a scene where he walks down the street talking to his best friend, Adam Driver. Do you know how tall Adam Driver is?
He's a tall man.
Do you know how tall Daniel Radcliffe is?
Normal size. My size.
I'd say even smaller.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's like nearly average height.
Yeah, 5'3".
But no, he like it's ridiculous when you see the size difference, and it's the same for this documentary. Anytime someone has to walk beside him and interview him, and they're like, you need to be like, and they definitely do it for like aesthetic reasons. Where they're like, don't get the 6'2" guy. Like Louis Theroux isn't doing a documentary about the giant.
Sure.
Going like, oh, look at you, you're fucking, what is it? You're 8 inches taller than me. That's pretty big.
But
get the 5-foot interviewer.
No, what they're probably doing is not what they do with every other fragile ego interviewer in every other documentary. It's not about size, where they're just like, oh, you're 6'2". Just for the crack, during this interview, I'm going to stand on a box and we're going to be in frame so that we look about. I'm not going to say I'm taller than you, but I will imply that we're the same height. It's just what all interviews are.
Yeah. There were actually 2 other giant men from the area of Littlebridge, near Tyrone, where he's from. A set of identical twins called the Knight brothers.
Nice.
They were only 7'2", so not really worth mentioning.
No.
So there's more of a footnote, a size 15
there
footnote.
You go.
But they were all friends and would walk around town together, which is a very fun
That is pretty fun.
image. And I also imagine being the 2 fellas who were 7'2" and ever going, pipsqueak.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that because
they walk into bars at first and somebody would be like, "Jeez, you're the tallest man I've ever seen." Like, well, give it a second.
Yeah. And then he just goes, fuck. He just bangs his head. But about the brothers Knipe, I did read somewhere that because they were so big, one of them was born in March and one of them was born in April because the mother had to take a break.
Yeah, That's pretty good.
Which is not true.
No.
Unless it was
It
like...
could have been midnight on
Unless
like,
yeah,
March 31st.
But no, because I didn't write down the dates, but these dates were like 5 weeks apart.
Yeah.
There were rumors that he had a tall cousin too, but those claims are unsubstantiated.
Like what? You see a really tall man and just making up a rumor like, yeah, I heard his cousin's pretty tall as well.
Everyone from there is related to that 14th to 15th century man who was a giant.
Yeah.
Who fucked everyone. But whatever about the rumors of his cousin being tall.
Yeah.
Right. There was, however, a tall man that did exist in the form of Patrick Cotter O'Brien.
Oh, yeah.
Which is near like Byrne. You think
Okay.
about last name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who started showcasing himself in freak shows not long after Charles's death. Originally from Kinsale.
Okay.
On stage, he claimed to be a descendant of Brian Boru.
Yes.
He'd be known as the Bristol Giant, or Irish Giant. Another Irish Giant.
Why Bristol?
He lived there for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was Bristol he'd retire to.
All right.
And he'd live out his days until his eventual death at the age of 46.
That's a big age.
It's for a big man.
For a big
He
man.
should be 26. That would have
Yeah.
still been a lot longer than Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah. They couldn't find a hearse for him that was big enough when he did die, seeing as he was 8 foot tall.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He hit the 8.
2 meters and 44 centimeters.
Yeah.
One of only 22 people to have ever been verified as 8 foot tall.
Jesus.
Yeah.
When they're trying to find a hearse for them, was there just like a load of lads in a white cloak being like, yeah, we could rent the hearse for you. Oh, why does it say the British Royal Science on the side of it? No matter.
Why is this hearse white with a
Yeah.
red cross on the side of it? Wow,
I wouldn't worry about it.
we're the Ghostbusters. He's dead. Don't
Yeah.
worry, it's fine. But yeah, at the time, the tallest man in the world.
Damn.
He was also worried about gravediggers and such, much like our last man, which I found out about during our Burke and Hare.
Yeah.
I found out about that because he was like, I don't want to they're going to dig me up and they're going to do shit to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not paranoid. You can see the other guy on display in the museum.
No, but Charles was worried about that during his
yeah.
life. As soon as he
yeah,
got to London,
yeah.
he was like, as soon as I die,
Yeah.
as soon as my health starts waning, I'm looking around my shoulder and there's
Yeah.
just like 20
Scientists keep
students.
coming over and like fucking measuring cabinets beside me.
Yeah. They are the ones who stole the money from his pocket, not for their own use.
Yeah, to build a
To buy
display
his
case.
cadaver when he died.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. But big old 8-footer himself.
Hmm.
He was also worried about gravediggers and such. He wanted to be buried in a lead coffin, much
Yeah.
like Charles.
Yeah.
But this time with 12 feet of solid rock encasing him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. How's he going to work that out?
He left his ma $2,000
Okay.
so that she'd cover that. That should cover that, and probably money for her as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could skimp. Just do 10 foot of rock. Buy yourself something nice.
Yeah. But I suppose in the Burke and Hare episode, the lad Burke was working for £1 a week, doing well as like a
Yeah,
cobbler
yeah.
and a baker and doing loads of odd jobs and doing it, and everyone liked him. He was doing very well. He'd make about £1 a week.
Yeah.
She's leaving him. He's leaving his ma $2,000.
To build like a.
You assume like a couple of £100, get that sorted.
Yeah.
She's coming away with at least
Yeah. Yeah.
1,000 to
There's no need to skimp
13,
on
50.
costs.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. His grave was untouched.
But then, on the other hand, 8 foot. Think what he fucking did to her. You know, he owes her that money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a easy. Not an easy delivery.
That is, yeah. Oh no, she's broken.
Yeah.
That's. You'd hope that the father.
$2,000. I'll tell you what ain't $2,000. To be honest, ain't been $2,000 for a while. 46 years to be precise.
But his grave was untouched
Okay.
for 100 years,
Yeah.
and then some workers stumbled across it while they were laying drains,
Okay.
and they dug him up
Yeah.
and messed about with him for a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put them in poses and stuff.
For science.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know science?
I mean, I know science. Yeah.
For science. Yeah. So then they put him back in the ground,
Hmm.
To honor his wishes.
Of course.
Because that's what you do. When
Yeah.
a giant is buried and he has a wish, and if the one wish is like not to be studied for science,
yeah.
of course you do a little bit of science on
A
it.
little bit of, a couple
But
of
then-
pranks.
But then you give him back. You don't take 200 odd years to do it,
No.
right? But also until 1972 when they dug him up again for more science.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure.
What? Science.
Science.
Just science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure where all of his remains are now, but you can find his boots at the Kinsale Museum.
Okay.
And if you want to see his arm, it's preserved and on display at the Royal College of Surgeons, where you won't find, for probably a year or two, Charles Byrne's skeleton.
What do you mean his arm is preserved? Because surely when they got it, it was still like a skeleton.
Yeah,
So his bone is there.
very bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they buried him in like whiskey or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they measuring it every couple of years just to be like, oh, still the same size? Jot that down.
I think they're happy enough to have disrespected the dead that they
Yeah,
don't need to do
yeah.
any actual science.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before
Yeah.
those idiots bring some sort of mummy's curse down on us. Digging up giants, stealing artifacts.
Yeah.
What the fuck have they been doing to us for the
You're
last...
waiting to...
Is there not
the
enough...
Necronomicon.
Yeah.
This is exactly what
Yeah.
you
The
deserve.
Queen's Day, she was the last thing holding them off, to be honest.
You're being a dick for no reason.
For just to fucking push the boundaries.
Yeah.
And you're going to do that stupid, like, Oppenheimer thing when you've gone too far. When you dig up the fucking some giant man and then he comes back to life and starts stomping on cities and you'll be like, oh, I have become... What is it? I have become God of Death. You're going to have some stupid pity line that'll go down in the ages and Christopher Nolan will make a film about you. But the truth is you're just a fucking idiot who kept digging up giants until something bad happened. And you won't have any fucking... You won't stick around to see what happens.
Are you now already starting to... we watched Prestige the other night.
Yeah.
You're not a big fan of... Like, you're kind of... You're wavering?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that...
Wavering a little bit?
No.
Wavering? Because you referenced the director.
Yeah, because he's making the...
Yeah, it was...
he's making a film about
But
Oppenheimer.
you're doing that as a... Yeah, but you're also... Well,
No,
you're just
it's
saying,
a very
you're
clear...
Saying, well, you're saying I'm right?
A very clear...
saying
You
that
were
the-
wrong.
you're
The
saying that-
Prestige is a very good film.
You're saying that me and Lisa were right? That it's
Incorrect.
a good film, but it's very stupid?
No, indeed. I'm saying that you don't get to fuck around with... You see all those old pictures of like the guys... I don't know. I don't know. When they start to excavate the pyramids in Egypt and Sudan, and there'd be old photos of guys that they'd use the Rosetta. They'd like translate the hieroglyphs, and it'd be like, do not disturb this tomb of the great Imhotep, or I will rain thunder. That, and they'd be like taking their photographs that'd take 20 minutes to take it, and I was standing in front of it, being like, I can't wait to chop this open. They couldn't give a fuck. They were don't be digging up giants, all right? Don't be opening tombs. We've got enough problems. Let's just all stop fucking around with stuff.
Let sleeping giants lie.
Leave them alone.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's gonna happen, but at this stage, let's not risk it, okay?
I don't know. 2 weeks after the goose dies, I'm digging him up.
I'm digging him up to from science. I
Yeah.
just want to know, how was he so tall?
I'm going to put him on a plane, bring him down to Spain for the winter. Like, he prefers it this way.
If I eat his bone marrow, will it happen to me?
But yeah, but that's we're going to do a regular episode this year about Fionn McCool.
Yeah.
Finn McCool, that guy, who's just going to be tagged into the end of this. And then I wrote this whole story and realized there's actually a lot more about him, seeing as he's like a big cultural, significant point of Irish history. So I'm going to do that as a regular episode. But here you can listen to. I hope you've enjoyed all of our waffle about two very big lads,
Two very big lads.
big mounds.
Yeah. He said, I am become death, destroyer of worlds. That's what Oppenheimer said. Now, maybe when the film, maybe he didn't, like, it's just also the audacity to push it right up to the limit and just be one of those fucking science nerds who can't leave it alone. And then the second it goes wrong, just like everyone else said it would, just to be like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. Like, if CERN had blown up, they would have been the first people to be like, no, what have I done? Oh, no. We should make a biopic about me and
Yeah.
have Cillian Murphy play me. And I'm so ashamed. I shouldn't have done that. No, you shouldn't have fucking done it. But it's too late now. Don't be fucking. Don't be blasting particles at it just to see what happens. There's enough nonsense happening at the minute.
So that's
2 stories about giants.
2 big men,
2 big men.
big mounds.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Belfast hockey team. It's called the Belfast Giants, I think.
so that's the end of the story. We've had 2 men,
Yeah.
big men, kind of related,
big men.
tangentially, technically related. Maybe if that old man from the 14th to 16th century
Oh yeah.
was out dropping loads. Maybe
I believe
if
it.
he was on a tour of the country, much like Charles,
Yep.
who's to say he couldn't have sown his seed down
Yeah.
in Tip or Cork or wherever Patrick was from. Kinsale.
Yeah.
Could have done it down there. Could be the same fella. Pituitary gland issues.
Fair play.
Yeah, tall lads.
That's the end of the show now. I'm tired of holding this microphone.
Cheers. Welcome back to the season.
Yes. Good luck.
Shafter.